Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Copilot Compass, where each week we take a deep dive into Microsoft 365 Copilot. As always, I have the pleasure of being joined by my esteemed colleague, fellow Copilot enthusiast, and resident smart guy, Logan.
Thanks, Grant. Happy to be here.
Logan, why don't you tell the folks at home a little bit more about what they can expect coming up in this week's episode?
Yeah, so as always, we're going to get started with our question of the week, and then we'll get into our topic, which is Copilot Designer. So very exciting. In the past, we've gone over how, Copilot can help you with the content side of PowerPoint, but this week we're going to focus on how it can help, design like visually and make your PowerPoints look great. So it should be excited. It's been a topic we've been excited about for a while. So
Very excited for this one. Yeah, I can't wait to share this with you guys. I think this is a big win for the designers in the audience here.
absolutely. Yeah. And make sure you stay tuned to the end for a sneak preview of what we have coming out next. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into our question of the week, Logan. Let's do it. I want to get into the designer part, so let's get it.
Let's do it. Cool. Yeah. So this week our question is, well, first of all, remember you can submit your questions either by submitting a comment on this video or by emailing the email address in the description. But this week our question is, what are the biggest misconceptions executives have about AI productivity tools?
Yeah, that's a good one. I don't know if this is necessarily a misconception, but I think the most common problem we get or like challenge we get from executives is, well, all this sounds good, but what's the return on investment? Or how do I measure the impact? Like, they want to stand up like a way to justify the costs that are associated because it's not even just, a license that you're paying for, but it's, any IT member's time that might be required in setting that up or, consumption related to the AI scenarios you're deploying. So it's, you know, a total cost of ownership isn't cheap. And so a lot of times, rightfully so, leaders are looking to set up metrics and measurements around that return on investment. But, I don't think it's as complicated as people make it out to be. Microsoft does provide that really cool, like I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but that like admin portal where you can go see like Copilot usage and it's detailed. It's not just who's using it, who's not. It's where is it being used, what apps is it being used in, how frequently. So there's some really, really cool utilization metrics there to show you, okay, we're deploying it, people are using it. But beyond that, there are certainly some really cool and really smart ways that you can do some more advanced data and analytics around your AI solutions. But even just on the simplest front, what you can do is look at individual processes where you can break down, okay, how long did this process take before? How long does the process now take with Copilot? And then, applying some figures in there like the cost to company of the employees that are using the tool and how much time it's saving them. It's pretty quick and easy to come up with a cost savings there. Now, I think a challenge that we get when we use those metrics is, well, those aren't hard dollars. I'm still paying this person's salary. It's great that they're able to do this, but I think you can turn that around and basically say, okay, well, with this extra 3 hours a week, what are some new initiatives that this person can now take on that have been put on the back burner? Or can they contribute more? Or maybe there's some positions that you currently have open that, you can look at some of these efficiencies and that work stream can be split up amongst the set of employees you already have on staff. Beyond that, I think if you're really hard driven on the hard dollars, just look at revenue and marketing related activities because those are a little bit easier to say, okay, pre-AI, we had this number, post-AI, here's how fast we're closing deals or revenues coming in. So, yeah, I covered a lot there. Logan, anything to add? I usually try to leave some topics for you to cover, but I kind of went robust there. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, kind of going off what you're talking about with the ROI, I think it's important that, executives keep in mind that it's not going to be immediate and it's going to take time. Of course, you have like those early adopters, you're going to pick things right up and like start using Copilot super efficiently and be a lot more productive and, show some of that ROI. But a lot of people, and just like any new tool, it's going to take some time. So I think, having some patience with that, as well as, like supplying your employees with the proper tools. So, like learning resources, stuff like that. I think that's all just like important to keep in mind when you're implementing a new AI system.
Good points. All right. Well, the wait is over. We're going to talk about Designer and PowerPoint with Copilot all coming together. You ready to jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, as we mentioned profusely in the introduction here, we're very excited about this new announcement from Microsoft. So, a lot of changes have been coming to Copilot, and I'm specifically saying vaguely Copilot because Copilot Chat has had some changes as well. So a couple of things related to PowerPoint. One that we won't cover today, but those of you that are not on the full-fledged Microsoft 365 Copilot license, you will start to see Copilot rolling out into PowerPoint and your other Office apps. Now, it's not going to have the same functionality, so don't, you don't set that expectation. You're getting all that for free now. It's not going to have that work, the graph grounded work data in there, so you can't, you know, you might be able to create a presentation on the theory of relativity or it's something based on web-based information. But if you're asking it to turn some action items from a meeting that you held and put it into a PowerPoint, that's not going to be there. You got to have that work grounded data through Microsoft Graph, which comes to you with that full-fledged Copilot license. So that is one a nice enhancement that comes to those of you without the full-fledged license. But super impactful news for those of you that are living, eating, and breathing in PowerPoint is the availability of the Copilot for Designer. So one of the challenges that we had, as well as our customers have had, is that Copilot does do a good job of putting together, a PowerPoint deck based on some prompting and references to some files that you want. You can build you've always been able to build a PowerPoint deck based off of a Word document that you have. You can even be more specific with your prompt and tell Copilot what the audience will be, so it'll tailor the messaging and kind of the framework around that audience. That's always been there, but the challenge has been, well, Copilot just picks a design kind of seemingly at random, or it's got a few that it kind of likes, and so it kind of just looks the same. And, a lot of companies have a slide master or like templates that you can use, but those don't always play well together. So you end up spending a lot of time reformatting, editing, and just making sure everything fits right when you do that. So the great news is that Microsoft, as of just a couple weeks ago, has announced that there's Copilot for Designer now. It does a lot of cool things. So one is that, and not something that we have tested out very heavily, but I will say that Microsoft is claiming that the designer now will do some new added things. So it can add in some like animations versus just pictures. And it's also a bit more intelligent about choosing a design that's appropriate for the material that you've given it. So definitely some enhancements there. If you don't have a specific template you want it to use and just want it to pick whatever's best. It's not gonna, have a whole bunch of flowers and sunshine around it if it, if the content is very business and very strategic or whatever the case may be. So again, test that out at your own will. We're just relaying what Microsoft is saying. But the most exciting piece is the ability to use either a design that you choose in advance or to use your own slide masters. So we're really excited to show this to you. It's not a long demo, but we do think that it's going to save a lot of you guys a lot of time. And, I would say out of all the things that have changed over M365 Copilot since you and I have been involved, Logan, in the last, year and a half or so, this is the one I've been looking forward to and most excited about. So can't wait to dive in and share it with you guys. All right, so we're here in PowerPoint. We've got a blank deck open. Do want to just quickly walk you guys through a few changes or enhancements that have come to Copilot and PowerPoint since we last presented this to you, several months ago at this stage. So with Copilot and PowerPoint, several ways to interact with it, just like there are in all the Office apps. So they've got this icon up here at the top or kind of near wherever your, Word documents kind of near the top there as well. But you've got kind of that in workspace experience, but then you've also got this icon up here in the top ribbon that opens up this chat pane type of experience. Now, we touched on just a few minutes ago about how Copilot chat users, or those of you that are not on that full-fledged Microsoft 365 Copilot license, are going to start to see Copilot coming to PowerPoint. Now, I am a full-blown Microsoft 365 Copilot user, so my experience is a little bit different. But those of you that don't have the license, you are going to start to see this Copilot icon showing up. If it's not there already, I know it's coming out. It's rolling out globally. But what I can now see as a licensed user is I have an option to select between web-based or work-based when it comes to this stuff. So if I want to pick a generic topic without it having any work context, I can select this icon here. Most of the time that I'm going to be building out a PowerPoint deck, I'm going to be referencing some work-based, Microsoft Graph grounded data. So got that selected there by default. So this is very similar to the experience you get in, kind of the web-based Copilot chat if you're a full-fledged licensed user. So just wanted to point that out. Now, again, using this side chat pane to create a presentation, you can certainly do it. This is really better for more like summarize this presentation or help me understand topics that maybe I want to add to this presentation, asking specific Q&A types of questions. That's what this chat pane is really good for. Now, it can create a presentation for you. The only difference here is that it's going to be just a one shot. So you tell it a prompt, it builds the presentation. It doesn't ask any follow-up questions. It picks the design, doesn't ask you to input new sections, any of that. So very limited functionality here. So to create this presentation, we will go ahead and select this icon here, and I'm going to go ahead and click this create a new presentation. Now, what this pops up here is same idea, create a presentation about. I can do a / and reference a file. I could type a topic that I wanted to cover, whatever the case may be. And we'll showcase in just a moment here how that experience will differ for you. Now, what you do see now here is this presentation design function. So it's chosen this Dune design for us that's going to be used to create the presentation. So this is the new thing. So I can change this design in advance. If you have some, designs or themes that are rolled out for your organization, those will be available for you here. There are also, about, I don't know, maybe 20 or so out of the box layouts that you can select from if you want to use something like this. So pretty cool. I can choose this design in advance. Now, I am going to show you guys some of the scenarios probably most relevant for those of you within an organization building presentations is, well, you've got a template that you use or a slide master theme, I should say, that you use all the time. And that's been, something we've been frustrated with and others that we speak to is I can't use it with Copilot because it doesn't play along well together. That has now changed. So we'll show you how that works currently. Now, this particular theme that I'm going to show you is also not one that was deployed for our entire organization. This is one that Logan and I built for several of the webinars and events that we hold. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to view and then go slide master right here. And then I am going to change the theme and it's right here. So this is a custom theme that we have, a nice simple layout for us. I will close out of this master view and now I'm right back here where I started. I'm going to go ahead and click this Copilot icon again, create a new presentation. And now what you're going to see is if I go to change design, it's got it popped up as one of the recent ones. So it's got this template for us here that we can use. So I'm going to select this as the design. And now, Logan, put you on the spot. Let's just pick a web-based topic. Anything in particular you're interested in learning about?
Yeah. What'd you mention before? Theory of relativity. Let's do that.
Sure.
Wow.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and select this. Now, this is where this is different. If I use that side chat pane, like I mentioned, it's going to start spewing out slides. Here, it's giving me kind of a high-level layout. I can change the order around. And then I want special theory of relativity to go after general theory. I don't know why I would do that, but let's say I'm doing that just for the sake of the demo. Maybe I want to add a section here about maybe the most impactful historical figures on this topic. So I'm going to add in that. So all of this is not available if I use that side pane. One shot, go. All right, now here's the exciting stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and click generate slides and it's going to do, takes, depending on the topic, depending on the number of knowledge sources it's pulling from, this can take anywhere from 15 seconds to, I've seen it go up to about a minute for some, a scenario that I had was pulling from like a SharePoint folder, not just a single file, but it kind of shows us it's thinking as it goes along here. And in just a moment, it looks like we're almost done. I'm going to be able to double click in on one of these and it pops open our presentation. And what you can see here is it has taken the layout I gave it. So it's got the footers that we wanted. It's got the numbers down here that we wanted, this kind of left side line that we wanted. It's picked the text themes that we wanted. So huge enhancement here, prior to this rolling out, this Copilot for Designer feature rolling out, it would have taken us, I don't know, maybe an hour to go through and clean up 23 different slides to realign the titles and move the text around and maybe delete some extra text boxes that were in the background. So a huge win. Really encourage you guys. Like, I think there's been a number of folks that got this license, tried out this ability to create presentations, and then got frustrated by the formatting issues. So huge win for us. Really, really excited about this. Can't wait to hear you guys. Those of you that are paying attention here and are hearing about this for the first time, please give us a comment. Let us know, how, if this has been as helpful for you as it's been for us. And maybe, now that Microsoft checked this one off of the list, what's the next feature you're looking for out of PowerPoint? But hopefully you find some value out of this one. In today's journey of the Copilot Compass, we focused on our favorite new release of Copilot, the design functionality within Copilot and PowerPoint. We talked to you a little bit about some of the enhancements that are coming with, have already been released with the design functionality of Copilot without you having to really do anything on your own with those animations and the more intelligent design selection. We also talked a little bit about what is now available to those of you that don't have a full M365 Copilot license, but are still using PowerPoint and are a licensed, M365 user with Copilot Chat coming to PowerPoint. And then, of course, we demoed for you how you can use your own slide master or your own template and then have Copilot build the presentation based on that template. So hopefully you found that one valuable.
Yeah, super exciting new additions to Copilot. Yeah, hopefully you all are as excited as we are about this. And if you are, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And make sure you send those questions in for our Q&A sessions every episode. And remember, the new episodes are released weekly on Tuesday.
Yeah, next week we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to basically, Logan and I are going to pass the ball back and forth here and share our favorite best practices or commonly overlooked things when it comes to prompting. I think, a lot of user like dissatisfaction is not the right word, but frustrations can really be resolved with just better prompting habits. So what we're going to do is we'll just go back and forth. Logan's going to share, one tip that he has. I'll do one. He'll do one. I'll do one. So we'll talk about our 4 favorite prompting tips. So thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next week.
Okay, next week.